Sup people, and welcome back to the channel. Right, back on a Zcar build. What we're going to do today is some carpeting. I've never done this before. So basically it's got this black carpet that came with the car. It's like the stuff you normally put in the back of vans and stuff. So this has already got it on. It's a bit dusty at the minute. What I want to do is do the footwell and the back well in the black carpet. There should be enough, and then there might be enough to do this top section. So first of all, we're going to crack on with that. Hopefully it's just basically 2 strips, and I think this stuff is really pliable, as it can stretch quite easily to go up and over, even though it's a funny shape. Yeah, so that's the first thing on the list. I've already been in and ground down the filler that somebody put in to cover the welds. Perfect. So we're going to get that done first. Then we need, first we need to get that gear selector off. I'm guessing it's going to be nuts on the bottom, not welded nuts on the bottom, which you guarantee is going to be an arse to get off. So first of all, we'll get that off, push forward, get that off, mess around with these and these, and get digit and go stick down. That's the plan anyway. Spray adhesive. Right, let's get that gear selector out, shall we? I just guarantee that the bolts on the back are just going to be loose. So if we get the Ugga Dugga 10mm small Ugga Dugga part. So we'll put that Ugga Dugga in there. There. And if this bolt comes out, I'm going to eat my words. Oh, for fuck's sake. That one didn't come out there. That one did. That one didn't. Did that one undo just nothing? No. Just give it a bit of a lean. No, basically there's nuts on the back and the spinning. Right then, I'll get that off. Right, so that's off. I also went ahead and put some stainless steel M6 rib nuts in there instead, just to make things a little bit easier. We've got enough of this stuff, but we haven't got a lot of this stuff, so we've got to use it quite, you know, we've got to use our brains. So it would be nice if we could get this to run up the bulkhead. So this isn't going to be deep enough, but it would be deep enough to do the back. You get me? Just need to make sure if we cut that off, we've then got enough to cross that way. So, sills are separate. And over the centre. Yeah, so that is long enough to go across that way and that way. Yeah? Should be interesting. This should, you son of a, this should be interesting. I'd like to come up to that line past the pedals. So I need to make sure I cut it with enough. Yeah, so I want to cut it about there. Where's my scissors? So if I lift it up, Some magnets. So, carpet is in, glued down. It don't look too bad, considering I've never done it before. So now, all that's up. I made a better bracket for that. All this is in, that's done. Put the dash back in to cover that loom up, because that's just horrific. But this now is pretty much ready, this section. I'm not going to silicone down the sides, just in case whoever wants to wire it needs to take this out. I think this, it shouldn't have to come out, but they might want to take this panel out. I'm not sure. So, I'm not going to silicone down the sides yet. What I'm doing at the minute is messing around with this thing. So I've took it off. And what my idea is to move it as far back as I can. So basically I'm going to notch this out a little bit and fix it to this 1 inch to move it as far back as possible. I'm sort of limited because this pipe has got to come out of that hole and into this corner. But if I can get it a bit further back, it's going to be of help. And this will be a better fixing. So I'm just going to notch the bottom of this, clean this, weld that onto there, and then that will give us a better mount, if you know what I mean. Well, that's what I think anyway. I think it's just going to be better. Then this panel's got to come out so we can fix this down properly, just so I can get to it. And then we're going to clean it, make it matte like the rest of it. And then once this tank's in, once that's back in, we can put these hoses in. We've got to put the windows in, cut the holes for this. And then that's the back end pretty much done, really. Right, let's notch this, get the welder out and go onto there, shall we? So, basically we've got this bar on here now to hold this, well, it was here. So I've moved it further back. So what I've had to do is put this tube in. This is going to be one of the intakes. And the tube is going to sit in the corner of this window. So this hose is going to go there. And then this hose is going to go up and over into there. And I think up here I've got some of these, which are for the mini heat hoses. So we'll use a couple of these as grommets for there. And I think what I think is going to be the best alternative to get to this cap is once this window's in, we're going to have a hole in it, an access hole to the water system. Otherwise, to get to that, you got to go all the way through the car or take the window out. So what it might need to do is get some sort of bung or something to go in the hole. So it's going to have to be big enough to get your hand in, you know, to get like a jug or a pour or something. I think that is much better in that position than there. So we've set that back. So what we need to do now is get this out, so put these holes in. I've got to finish trimming these. I've got to make them a little bit bigger. So I made them really tight fit and they're just going to vibrate. So I need to oval these out with the old foil. Then we need to work out how we're going to affix this to that. I'm thinking bolt there, and then these are going to more than likely have to all be riv nuts. So you can just blast it off. Because if it's nuts and bolts, you ain't never going to reach, are you? So that's the next thing. We've got to get all this out, drill those, finish these holes. Then we're going to flat this off to make it a matte finish, like we've done in there. So that'll be done. Then this can go back in and we can start working on the windows. Right, get this out, shall we? Right, so the back is back in. The pipes are in. Header tank. They were a bit awkward, I'm not going to lie. So I've left that as that for now. I think it needs a hole putting in. But first, he needs to find something to cover the hole with. But at the minute, it's got water in it. So I've filled the water up. I'll give the brakes a quick bleed. So we are getting there. Will that now be solid? See? No rattle. So that section of the car is done. I can put the back window back in now. And I've spoke to a lot of people with these, you know, and thinking this car is quite old. And it has always had the header tank there. A lot of people run that like that without a firewall or anything. And never had an issue. This is an old car. So that must have been there for some time. So basically, I'm going to leave it as it is. If it's been there for that long now, it's not going to be an issue. You know what I mean? So I put water in it. Filled this tank. Filled the header tank. I can't bleed the system because she doesn't run. I can't finish bleeding the brakes because I'm on my own. But they have gravity bled and there is a bit of a pedal. To be honest, I'd fuck that off anyway. And I'd have a single stand-up master cylinder off a normal Mini, because running the vacuum line all the way from that little engine, which is only technically a 1300, but they're not designed like a normal engine to create that much vacuum. So you're running a piston line all the way up to there. So I think the brakes are going to be shit anyway, to be honest. But they've worked like it for some time, so I'm guessing that must be how they run. It's not how I'd run it, but yeah. So this basically there, we are nearly done. I did do a little bit of wiring on it. So this is the regulator rectifier. We've got our main power lead coming in from our starter and reverse. And we've got an earth here. So that can have other earths put on top of it. Because it's going to be hidden behind the seat, if you know what I mean. So that's set there for now. And then underneath there, you've got the fan on the oil cooler. It's got to be wired. And the wiring that was here is ran at the back. And then there's some wires for the coolant switch, coolant temperature and oil pressure. So it's all up there basically ready for somebody to play with. I haven't cut any of the wiring out from behind here because whoever attacks the wiring on this car needs to diagnose what all these wires do off the tacho and the other gauges and the engine wiring, what does what. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm still waiting for the pod to put the gauges. That's going to be at least another week or two out. But what we can do now, the back window can go in. So that can go in. Then that back section of the car is done. That was the biggest job for me, that was, getting all this alley work done. Then we can start putting the doors together. Windows in, door interior latchy things in. And we can hang them. But I'm still waiting for these off the other chap. And I don't know how long that's going to take. So I think in the next video, we'll be knocking up the doors. But she's getting there. She's getting there. Right. I'll call this video an end here. Because it's been a load of little bits stuck together. A load of, what do you call it? Time-lapsing and stuff. Right. So, next one. Seats. Yes. We've got to put seats in it. So, in the next video, we'll do seats and doors, right? Thanks for watching. Give me a like if you don't mind. And I'll catch you in the next one, people. See you later.